gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Welcome to the Robert Sports Show. I'm your host, Robert. As 2017 is a little more than halfway over, I figured I would go through the WWE and rank the matches for Monday Night Raw, Tuesday Night Smackdown, Tuesday Night 205 Live, the NXT Weekly show on Wednesday, the United Kingdom Tournament, and the United Kingdom Special, NXT Takeover, and Raw pay-per-views, or network specials, and the Smackdown network specials. I have the 10 best matches from each of these shows, along with the 10 best matches so far in 2017 performed by WWE superstars. Obviously, none of these matches are 6 1/4 star like Dave Meltzer gave Okada and Omega, and none of these matches are 6 star as Dave Meltzer gave Okada and Omega on their second match. On their first match, the second one was 6 1/4. There's no 5-star matches here. There's some really good matches though, but throw that little disclaimer in there. So we're going to start down with the weekly shows. So on Monday Night Raw, these were the 10 best shows. On March 27th, it was a no disqualification match. Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens. Sami Zayn winning. I gave it 3.5. On June 5th, Samoa Joe versus Seth Rollins. Joe winning, I gave it 3.5 star. On March 6th, Bayley versus Sasha Banks. Sasha won by submission. I gave it 3.5 star. February 14th, Raw Women's Title match. Charlotte defending her title versus Bayley. Bayley winning her first women's title. I'll give it 3.5 star. On March 6th, on February 6th, U.S. title match, we had champion Chris Jericho versus Sami Zayn. Jericho retaining his title in a 3.5 star match. On June 19th, we had Samoa Joe versus Roman Reigns. Samoa Joe getting the victory in a 3.5 star match. On May 29th of this year, the 4th best Raw match of the year, Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns getting the victory in a 3 3/4 star match. On March 6th, we had the Cruiserweight title line. We had Rich Swann versus Neville. Neville defending his title, winning by submission in a 4-star match. The second best Raw match of the year came from January 23rd. It was for a spot in the Royal Rumble. We had Seth Rollins versus Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn getting the victory in a 4-star match. And the number one Raw match of the year came from May 1st edition of Raw. We had Finn Balor versus Seth Rollins versus The Miz. The Miz winning in 4 1/4 star match. The 10 best matches of SmackDown Live. Number 10 comes from February 28th. We had Luke Harper versus the phenomenal AJ Styles. AJ winning in a 3 1/4 star match. Number 9 comes from January 3rd. Intercontinental title match. We had Dean Ambrose versus The Miz. We had The Miz winning in a 3.5 star match. On January 31st, we had AJ Styles versus Dean Ambrose. AJ winning in a 3.5 star match. On February 8th, we had a Fatal 4-Way. We had Baron Corbin versus the phenomenal AJ Styles versus Dean Ambrose versus The Miz. Baron Corbin gets the pinfall victory over the phenomenal AJ Styles in a 3.5 star match. 2 matches coming from June 20th edition of SmackDown. Number 6, we had Dolph Ziggler versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Nakamura winning in a 3.5 star match. And then we had the United States title that night in the Open Challenge for only people who lived in Dayton, Ohio. Kevin Owens here. AJ comes out and Owens was like, "You don't live in Dayton, Ohio, but this guy does." And we had half of American Alpha, Chad Gable, come out and accept the U.S. challenge that he just moved there, which was great. This was a great match. I was hoping Gable would have won, but Kevin Owens retained his title in a 3.5 star match. Number 4 comes from April 4th, a street fight. Dean Ambrose versus Baron Corbin. Baron Corbin won in the 3 3/4 star match. For March 7th, we had the phenomenal AJ Styles versus Randy Orton. Randy Orton won in a 3 3/4 star match. Second best SmackDown match of the year came from March 21st. For the SmackDown tag titles, we had champions the American Alpha versus Usos. And then the Usos won the tag titles on SmackDown in a 4-star match. And the best match on SmackDown Live came from February 14th, WWE title, John Cena versus AJ Styles versus Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt gets the pinfall victory to retain his title versus John Cena in a 4.5-star match. The 10 best matches from 205 Live, which sadly not a lot of people watch 205 Live on the network. I guess the ratings are down for it. I don't know why. Some of the best matches in WWE happen on 205 Live. Number 10, from March 7th, we had Austin Aries defeating Tony Nese in a 3 3/4 star match. The premier athlete, Tony Nese. On May 6th, the Cruiserweight title was on the line when you had TJP, formerly known as TJ Perkins, versus Neville. No one's on the Neville level. Neville retained his title versus TJP in a 3 3/4 star match. On May 16th, we had TJP, TJ Perkins, versus a double, Austin Aries. Aries winning in a 3 3/4 star match. On April 4th, we had a number 1 contender fatal 4-way match. We had Jack Gallagher versus TJP versus Mustafa Ali versus Austin Aries. Aries won that in a 4-star match. On April 11th, we had TJP versus Jack Gallagher. TJP getting a pinfall victory in a 4-star match. On May 23rd, we had a street fight. We had Brian Kendrick versus Akira Tozawa. Akira Tozawa, now part of the Titus Worldwide brand, or Titus Worldwide. Tozawa winning that street fight in a 4-star match. Number 4 comes in January 24th. We had Cedric Alexander versus the Neville level. He's at the Neville level. Neville winning a 4 1/4 star match. On March 21st, we had Neville winning versus Mustafa Ali in a 4 1/4 star match. The second best match in 205 Live this year was February 8th. We had a number 1 contender fatal 5-way. We had Jack Gallagher, Noam Dar, Cedric Alexander, Mustafa Ali, and TJP. It was an elimination, so we had Alexander eliminating Dar, which still set up a feud they were having at the time. TJP eliminates Alexander. TJP makes Mustafa Ali submit, and then Jack Gallagher pins TJP. So Jack Gallagher was the number 1 contender in a 4 1/4 star match. Once again, we had a number 1 contender fatal 5-way on March 14th, which involved Austin Aries, the Brian Kendrick, Akira Tozawa, TJP, TJ Perkins versus Tony Nese, the premier athlete. TJP submits Nese. Kendrick pins Tozawa. Kendrick pins TJP. The finals of the elimination match came down to Aries and the Brian Kendrick, and Austin Aries getting the victory and becoming number 1 contender in a 4 1/4 star match. From NXT, the weekly show for NXT Live, whatever they actually call the NXT show, we had the 10 best matches from there for this year so far. Number 10 comes from April 19th edition. It was a steel cage match, Ty Dillinger versus Eric Young. The steel cage with these two was because Dillinger had been feuding with Sanity and Eric Young, and Sanity kept getting involved. So they wanted a way where Sanity didn't get involved, which they still did. But Ty Dillinger won it in a 3 1/4 star match. On March 8th, we had a special on NXT. We had TJP, TJ Perkins versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Nakamura getting a victory in a 3 1/2 star match. On May 17th, we had Cassius Ohno versus Andrade Cien Almas, and Ohno getting the victory in a 3 1/2 star match. On April 26th, we had the United Kingdom title defended on NXT television. We had champion Tyler Bate versus Jack Gallagher. Tyler Bate retaining his United Kingdom title in a 3 1/2 star match. On May 31st, we had Danny Burch versus Pete Dunne. Pete Dunne getting the victory over Danny Burch in a 3 1/2 star match. Number 5 on the list comes from back in January 4th. NXT Tag Titles on the line. TM61, Shane Miller and Scott Thorne, or whatever Thorne's first name, Nick Thorne. Scott Miller, I think he's got hurt, so that's why TM61 hasn't been around. TM61 versus champions DIY, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, back when they were together as tag team champions. DIY defending their titles in a 4-star match. 1 week later, on January 11th, NXT Tag Titles on the line. The Revival versus DIY, and DIY once again retaining their tag titles in a 4-star match. The second best match on NXT television came from last week's edition of NXT on Wednesday night, June 28th, the women's title, in the first ever NXT women's last women's standing match. Oh my God. If you don't watch NXT, tune into the show. Nikki Cross versus Asuka. Asuka, obviously the longest reigning champion in WWE in the last 30 years. What a match these two had. I predict at TakeOver for SummerSlam, wherever the hell SummerSlam is this week, when Brooklyn. So NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 3. I'm predicting a TLC match between Nikki Cross and Asuka. They used chairs. They used a ladder at one point. The last spot was they had the ladder set up over by the announce table. Nikki Cross climbs the ladder. Asuka does a suplex off the ladder. I don't really like suplex, but Nikki Cross is on one side, Asuka's on the other. Yeah, it's kind of a suplex back through the announce table, and Asuka was able to get up at 9, and then Nikki Cross was not able to get up. There were suplexes on stacks of chairs. There was chair shot. I mean, it was the best actual women's match I've seen in a long time. And it was the last woman standing. It was, okay, can they pull this off? Oh my God, they pulled it off. But amazingly enough, that's the second best NXT match of the week, a weekly show. The first match, the best match I thought on NXT television, came the week before. We had Aleister Black versus Cassius Ohno. If you've not seen NXT, you don't know who Aleister Black is. One way to describe Aleister Black, and J-Man said this to me, CM Punk, The Undertaker. He comes in like The Undertaker, but he's got the CM Punk style tattoos. He's got the freaking European type wrestling ability and the indie type kicks. And it's just fucking sick what he can do. And we all know Cassius Ohno, formerly known as Chris Hero, one of the greatest wrestlers ever in the history of wrestling. They put on a 4 1/4 star match, between 4 1/4, 4 1/2. It's not 1-2, it's 1A, 1B, these two matches. I almost put the last women's standing match number 1. But they're both that good. Alright, now to the UK show. We had the best 10 matches. It was the tournament back in January, and then on May 19th, there was United Kingdom title special, the weekend of Backlash in Chicago. So it's going to be a combination of those two. Number 10 comes from the second round of the tournament. Trent Seven versus Wolfgang, 3 1/4 star. Wolfgang won. Second round of the tournament, we have Joseph Connors versus Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews getting the victory in a 3 1/4 star match. From the United Kingdom special on May 19th, we had TJP teaming up with the Brian Kendrick versus Rich Swann and Dan Maloney. TJP and Kendrick getting the victory in a 3 1/4 star match. Number 7 comes from the UK special. We had Wolfgang versus Joseph Connor. Wolfgang getting the victory in a 3 1/2 star match. From the tournament, we had the first round matchup of Tyler Bate versus Tucker. Tyler Bate won in 3 1/2 star. Number 5 comes from the semifinals of the tournament. We had Mark Andrews versus Pete Dunne. Pete Dunne winning in a 3 1/2 star match. The first round of the tournament was number 4. We had Trent Seven versus H.C. Dyer and Trent Seven winning in a 3.5-star match. And then from the UK special, we had the United Kingdom title, which was Tyler Bate versus Mark Andrews. Tyler Bate defending this title in a 3 3/4-star match. And then number 2 best match comes from the finals of the UK tournament. We had Pete Dunne versus Tyler Bate. The winner becomes the first ever WWE United Kingdom champion. And Tyler Bate won in 3 3/4-star match. What I thought of the UK stuff, the best United Kingdom match, just to the stuff, when the United Kingdom title was defended on Takeover, that one was a Takeover match. This is just the 2 different sets of UK stuff. From the United Kingdom special on May 19th, the lead up to Backlash. Number 1 contender for the United Kingdom title, we had Trent Seven versus Pete Dunne. Pete Dunne wins in a 4-star match. Now, the NXT Takeovers, there is one NXT Takeover, which is Chicago, where they had the United Kingdom title defended on Takeover, so it's on this top 10. It would have actually been number 1 if just of the UK shows, but since it was part of Takeover, I went with Takeover. So the top 10 Takeover matches of the year, from Takeover Chicago, women's title, in a triple threat match, we had Asuka defending her title versus Nikki Cross and Ruby Riott. Asuka winning in a 3.5-star match. Also from NXT Takeover Chicago, the NXT title on the line, Hideo Itami versus Bobby Roode. Bobby Roode defending this title in a 3 3/4-star match. Number 8 comes from Takeover Orlando. Aleister Black versus Andrade Cien Almas. Aleister Black getting the victory in a 3 3/4-star match. Number 7 comes from the first Takeover of the year, Takeover San Antonio. The NXT titles, we had the champions, the Authors of Pain versus DIY. Authors of Pain, Authors of Pain winning in a 4-star match. Also from San Antonio Takeover, number 6, NXT title, Bobby Roode winning the title versus Shinsuke Nakamura in a 4 1/4-star match, classic match. Number 5 comes from Orlando Takeover. We had women's title with Ember Moon versus Asuka. Asuka retaining in a 4 1/4-star match. Also from Orlando, we had NXT tag titles on the line in a triple threat match. We had champion the Authors of Pain versus the Revival versus DIY. The Authors of Pain winning in a 4 1/4-star match. Number 3 comes from Chicago Takeover. NXT tag titles on the line in a ladder match. The Authors of Pain versus DIY. The Authors of Pain retaining the tag titles in a 4 1/4-star match. The second best match in NXT Takeover for 2017 comes from the Takeover Chicago, the United Kingdom title on the line, Pete Dunne versus Tyler Bate. Pete Dunne winning in a 4 1/2-star match. The best Takeover match comes from Orlando, NXT title, Bobby Roode versus Shinsuke Nakamura in a 4 1/2-star match. Bobby Roode retained his NXT title. On to the Monday Night Raw Network Special / pay-per-views. Number 10 comes from Payback, the U.S. title on Chris Jericho versus Kevin Owens, and Jericho winning in a 3-star match. Next, number 9 comes from the Royal Rumble. We had the Cruiserweight title. We had Neville versus Rich Swann. Neville becoming Cruiserweight champion in a 3 1/4-star match. Number 8 comes from WrestleMania, Cruiserweight title on a pre-show match. We had Austin Aries versus Neville. No one's at the Neville level. Neville retaining this title in a 3 1/2-star match. Number 7 coming from Fastlane. We had the women's title line. We had Charlotte versus Bayley. Bayley defended her title versus Charlotte in a 3 1/2-star match. Number 6 comes from WrestleMania with the United States title line, Kevin Owens versus Chris Jericho. Kevin Owens winning the United States Championship in a 3 1/2-star match. Number 5, coming from Extreme Rules, the Cruiserweight title, Austin Aries versus Neville. Neville retaining his title once again versus Austin Aries in a 3 3/4-star match. Number 4 on the list comes from Fastlane, Cruiserweight title, Jack Gallagher versus Neville. Neville once again retaining his title in a 3 3/4-star match. Third best match in Raw pay-per-views this year was from Extreme Rules, Steel Cage match for the Raw Tag Team titles. We had Cesaro and Sheamus versus the Hardy Boys. The Hardy Boys losing the titles to Cesaro and Sheamus. Second best match in Raw pay-per-views comes from WrestleMania. The non-sanctioned match between Triple H and Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins winning in a 4 1/4 star match. Number 1 comes from Extreme Rules, the Fatal 5-Way Extreme Rules number 1 contender match. Bray Wyatt, Seth Rollins, Samoa Joe, Finn Balor, and Roman Reigns. And surprisingly, Samoa Joe becoming number 1 contender to face Brock Lesnar at Great Balls of Fire. And it was a 4 1/4 star match. The Smackdown pay-per-views. We have number 10 coming from WrestleMania, the WWE title. Randy Orton winning the title versus Bray Wyatt is a 3-star match. Number 9 comes from Backlash, Dolph Ziggler versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Nakamura winning in a 3 1/4 star match. Number 8, also at Backlash, the United States title, the phenomenal AJ Styles versus Kevin Owens. Owens retaining in a 3 1/2 star match. Number 7 from WrestleMania, the Intercontinental title, Baron Corbin versus Dean Ambrose. Dean Ambrose retaining his IC title in a 3 1/2 star match. Number 6 comes from the Elimination Chamber, Randy Orton versus Luke Harper. Orton winning in a 3 1/2 star match. Number 5 comes from the Elimination Chamber, the tag titles and tag team turmoil. We had Heath Slater teaming up with Rhino versus Breezango versus the Von Bellens versus the Usos versus the American Alpha versus Ascension. The American Alpha winning the tag titles there. Next, number 4, we had the Money in the Bank ladder match from the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, which I was there live. We had Baron Corbin versus Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn versus AJ Styles versus Nakamura. I liked this match. I gave it 4 stars. Baron Corbin obviously winning. Did not like the fact that Nakamura had never been in a ladder match before, and they tried to protect him by having Corbin beat him up, and he goes to the back and then comes back out. There's other things you could have done in the match to protect Nakamura versus doing that. Besides having your 2 top athletes in the match, 3 top athletes, you want to count Sami Zayn. Zayn, Owens, and Styles took the brunt of the freaking spots. Owens and freaking Styles, I don't know how they're living after the spots they took. But Baron Corbin winning that. The third best match for SmackDown came from WrestleMania. Shane McMahon versus the phenomenal AJ Styles in a 4 1/4 star match. Number 2 from the Royal Rumble, the WWE title. Champion, the phenomenal AJ Styles versus John Cena. John Cena winning the title in a 4 1/4 star match. And what I thought the best match of the SmackDown pay-per-views in 2017, the Elimination Chamber match, the phenomenal AJ Styles versus Dean Ambrose versus John Cena versus Bray Wyatt versus Baron Corbin, and Bray Wyatt winning finally the WWE title. As short-lived as it was, finally Bray Wyatt is the world champion. I gave that match 4 1/2 stars. Alright, the 10 best matches in 2017 for WWE and NXT. Number 10 comes from NXT Weekly, women's title, last woman standing, Asuka versus Nikki Cross, 4 1/4 star match. Number 9 comes from Monday Night Raw, Finn Balor versus Seth Rollins versus The Miz, 4 1/4. Number 8 comes from NXT Weekly, Cassius Ohno versus Aleister Black, 4 1/4. And if Dave Meltzer sees this, or somebody knows Dave Meltzer sees this, I think this was just as good as Omega Okada at Wrestle Kingdom 11. Just saying. Number 7 comes from WrestleMania, Seth Rollins versus Triple H, 4 1/4, Seth Rollins winning. Number 6 comes from Extreme Rules, the 5-way number 1 contender Extreme Rules match, Samoa Joe, Finn Balor, Reigns, Bray Wyatt, Seth Rollins, 4 1/4. Number 5 comes from Royal Rumble, the WWE title, AJ Styles versus John Cena, 4 1/4. Number 4, SmackDown Live, the WWE title, and a triple threat match, Bray Wyatt versus John Cena versus AJ Styles, 4 1/2. I gave number 3, NXT Takeover Chicago, the United Kingdom title, Pete Dunne versus Tyler Bate, 4 1/2. Number 2, NXT Takeover Orlando, NXT title, Bobby Roode versus Nakamura, Roode winning, 4 1/2. And Extreme Rules in the Chamber, the Elimination Chamber match, Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. phenomenal AJ Styles, Dean Ambrose, John Cena, Bray Wyatt, Baron Corbin, The Miz, Bray Wyatt winning also 4.5. So that will wrap up the best matches in 2017 from January through June, first half of the year. Stay tuned, Rubber Sports Show. At the end of the year, we'll have the second half of 2017's best matches, then the best matches of the year for WWE, broke down just like this. And then I'll have a end of year WWE awards show. I'll create some different awards for WWE guys. So as always, stay tuned to Rubber Sports Show. A lot going on. We'll have coming up the preview of Great Balls of Fire. Obviously no Road to because it's the first ever. I'll have the Road to Battleground preview for Battleground, review for both. NASCAR previews, and then in a couple weeks the NCAA college football kickoff special from Rubber Sports Show. So as always, thanks for watching Rubber Sports Show. Don't just have a great night, have a spiffy night. Rubber Sports Show, your YouTube leader, sports channel content. And just a special note for those who stay tuned, I'm predicting that WWE will run an angle at Survivor Series between Kurt Angle, Stephanie McMahon, and Triple H, similar to the 2001 angle where Kurt had kissed Stephanie and Tripp got involved, and I think they'll have some type of angle like that where the show ended with Triple H in the ring, knocked out, losing the title to The Rock, and then Kurt Angle coming out and carrying Stephanie McMahon after her getting knocked out back to the back. I predict an angle such as that when Stephanie returns to WWE television and Kurt Angle is the general manager. As always, thanks for watching Rubber Sports Show.